absolutely stacked for video game releases. So let's break it down to the first half of 2023. Here are 15 new games we're looking forward to checking out. Please note, as of right now, there are a bunch of games coming out in 2023 that don't have a release date, and we're not talking about those. We're sticking to the ones that officially have a date. And also just know, a small disclaimer, all of these are subject to change. Game delays happen all the time. But with that being said, let's get started off with number 15. Atomic Heart is finally soon upon us. This first-person action-adventure game, heavily inspired by the likes of BioShock, at least at a glance, just seems really, really unique with this alternate history, Soviet sci-fi spin, with lots of melee weapons, guns, and cool abilities, in a wild and wacky world filled with weird robots. Not to mention, the game just has some really big and impressive-looking environments, and just overall some pretty good graphics, at least from the trailers. Atomic Heart, though, like we said, wearing inspirations on its sleeves, could still end up being incredibly unique. We've been following this game for years at this point, back when it was just like a little Kickstarter project. And now, after, again, like I said, many delays, it's finally getting a full-fledged release February 21st, 2023. Next, over at number 14, the Dead Space remake is coming right at the start of the new year, and we have pretty high hopes for this one. Yes, it is coming from EA, who has a tendency to screw things up, but I think after Callisto Protocol, we just got that taste for gritty sci-fi survival horror in space back in our mouths. Say what you want about Callisto Protocol, loved it or hate it, it definitely left us wanting more of that style of game, and thankfully, the Dead Space remake is essentially right around the corner. Although some might argue it's a game that didn't even look like it needed a remake, visually so far it does seem like it looks pretty awesome. And Dead Space 1 and 2 are some incredible games, so we're looking forward to jumping back in January 27th. Next, over at number 13, we have Hogwarts Legacy. This is the big open-world adventure Harry Potter game that a lot of people have been asking for a long time. It takes place many, many, many years before Harry Potter or even Fantastic Beasts, and focuses on you going to Hogwarts, creating your own character, going to classes, and doing whatever you want. And there's a lot of potential for this one to be a big deal to a lot of Potter fans. It could be pretty sweet, and after a bunch of delays as well, with this one, we'll finally know February 10th, 2023. Next, over at number 12, let's talk Forspoken. I think if any game on the list, this is the one that should have an asterisk. This is the one where we're kind of cautiously optimistic because there is a demo out right now, and although we weren't super head over heels for it, we'll admit that we just haven't seen a lot of the game. But Forspoken essentially is you, as a regular person, thrust into a fantasy world and given mage powers. The game focuses around a magical parkour-like traversal around open environments, questing, and combat that seemingly predominantly involves magic and casting. This Square Enix collaboration has been teased for a long time. We knew about this game before it even had the name Forspoken, and it's finally releasing after many delays, January 24th, 2023. Next, over at number 11, we have Sons of the Forest. This is another long-awaited game, the follow-up to the survival game, The Forest. Sons of the Forest seems like it's taking the success of the first The Forest game and putting its money where its mouth is and making a bigger, better The Forest game with a little bit more of a cinematic approach, more depth, better graphics, more mechanics. And to be honest, this one's still been shrouded in some secrecy, and it's had some delays, but we're gonna see it February 23rd, 2023. Next, over at number 10, we have Street Fighter 6. Man, this one is looking pretty awesome. Some fighting game fans have already gotten their hands on it, and it seems like they're coming away impressed. And although we certainly at GameRanks do not specialize in fighting games by any means, Street Fighter is a lot of fun, and this one looks no different. Visually, it looks absolutely stunning, but it also looks like it's got the gameplay chops to back it up, and some interesting new characters. New characters that don't feel kind of like half-assed or forced. From what we've seen so far, they seem pretty sweet, and then also new creative spins on classic beloved characters that we've known for so long also look pretty cool. Capcom's big old Street Fighter 6 is dropping June 2nd, 2023. Now, next, over at number 9, we have Diablo IV. This one has been long in the works, and it's finally almost here. This Diablo is visually pretty incredible from what we've seen, from those cool cinematic movies that Blizzard is always known for to the actual gameplay itself, and it seems like they're going bigger and crazier with this. bigger worlds, more instances, more loot, more connectivity, more playing with friends. And we're really curious to see how this one goes, because even a decent Diablo game is still pretty good. Will it top Diablo 2? A lot of us think nothing ever will, but we like to see people try. And we'll know this summer apparently when Diablo 4 drops June 6th.